Picture me rolling in the drop top with 2 Glocks to give a nigga that Tupac treatment. Picture me rolling in the drop top with 2 Glocks to give a nigga that Tupac treatment. Life is hard, it'll never be easy. Roll one, sometimes it helps ease me. Niggas claim they want the smoke till they see me. So many chains I'm riding around yelling free me. Picture me rolling with 2 dots and they tops off. Faces full of white kids that they get dropped off. Had to think of helping me get them rocks off. Then pulling off faster than I did with the condom off. I'm a man that gets around like you heard the news. I'm steady making plays like I'm calling audibles. If it's time to hit the lick, I'm calling all the goons. Then we at your door like the landlord when his rent is due. Should be TDE cause I'm a top dog. While niggas steady biting these flows, they got locked jaw. Steady climbing up the range, y'all getting knocked off. I'm too real to be surrounded by some knockoffs. Picture me rolling in the drop top with 2 Glocks to give a nigga that Tupac treatment. Picture me rolling in the drop top with 2 Glocks to give a nigga that Tupac treatment. Life is hard, it'll never be easy. Roll one, sometimes it helps ease me. Niggas claim they want the smoke till they see me. So many chains I'm riding around yelling free. To make a long story short, you got an annotator. Fell from the most like down to the most hated. I threw more caps up in the air than people graduating. They try to diss on me and leave me amputated. We all know that it's not happening. They threw Daniel back on the mic. I had to snap again, send the beats back up to God. It's time to pray, man. Steady fighting all these demons. My angel lets me sin. Unless my angel was a demon from the start that takes form of an angel, but they eyes stay dark. Evil ass smile, hellfire in their heart. Whatever wrong that happened to me is stay apart. Separate the weak from the strong, that's my mission. I'm blind to all of your haters, my eyes missing. Don't step foot in the stew, that's my kitchen. All y'all whining and crying to stop bitching. Picture me rolling in the drop top with 2 Glocks to give a nigga that Tupac treatment. Picture me rolling in the drop top with 2 Glocks to give a nigga that Tupac treatment. Life is hard, it'll never be easy. Roll one, sometimes it helps ease me. Niggas claim they want smoke till they see me. So many chains I'm riding around yelling free me. Picture me rolling in the drop top with 2 Glocks to give a nigga that Tupac treatment. Picture me rolling in the drop top with 2 Glocks to give a nigga that Tupac treatment. Life is hard, it'll never be easy. Roll one, sometimes it helps ease me. Niggas claim they want smoke till they see me. So many chains I'm riding around yelling free me. Till they free me. RP to the GOAT, Pac, Mission.
Good morning, everybody. Good morning. Good morning, Watermelon. How you doing? Good morning, Miss 702. So today my topic is about depression. You know, I don't know if everybody really know, but May is like mental health month. And for me, for whatever reason, this thing of depression, it always seemed to hit the top of my mind when I feel like somebody's going through something. And this is what they say depression is. Depression is a depressive disorder or a clinical depression, but it's a common but serious mood disorder. It causes severe symptoms that affect how a person feels, thinks, and handles daily activities such as sleeping, eating, and working. Right? So many of us understand that definition. But the definition to me, when you talk about depression, it always comes about how you get the depression. You know, whether it's a loss in a family. My 33 brother word, what up though? Whether it's a loss in a family, a losing of a job, losing a home, financial situations, those things. And then, the severe ones, whether it's a childhood trauma or an adult trauma. whether it's a sexual assault or anything of those type of natures, but it's always caused by a trauma. Willis, good morning. It's always caused by a trauma, right? And that effect of said trauma, it has a person that it makes a person, not allow, I don't want to say allow, but it makes a person lose every fiber of being of positive energy in their life, right? Because some of them, like I said, is a loss. I don't know too many people that gets a positive energy out of a loss. But when you think about depression, it's always a negative thing. I've never heard of it being anything like a plus in somebody's life, right? So let's just say like you lost a loved one, right? For example, I lost my mom a long time ago. So, as a teenager, you think you got it all together. You think that, you know what, I can overcome this thing. And for the most part, you're still trying to discover yourself. So you feel like the world, or I felt like the world was coming at me at one particular time. So I can say with utmost that I was depressed. I didn't. My depression was so emotional and mental that it affected my physical. Like I felt like my body was breaking down because I was that down because I was at a loss. Like you can't replace that thing. How do you replace that? So the mind, the body, and the soul was just at its lowest level for me. So it was just a traumatic situation for me. But time and grieving, or however people view it, having conversations with somebody, reaching out to family members that, it was just so much going on, right? Get to the funeral. Oh, anything you need, you can call me. I loved her. I loved her. I loved her so much. Anything you boys need. But those phone calls never came. Those situations never occurred. So you fending on your own, right? You trying to find family members, you linking up with them, you doing all the things that you can, but nothing seems to work. You go outside your home, you got a loving family, you got a grandmother that loved you, the grandmother that tried to hold it down for her child. But guess what? She lost her child too. So she gotta grieve. Depression is a real thing, everybody. That's the point of me telling this story, because at the end of the day, it doesn't just affect one person. It affects a person surrounding. It affects that family. It affects those in your household, in your circle. Makes you not want to do nothing correct. Somebody try to lift you up, and it's so hard because you're so down. You have your energy at its lowest point because you are so down. It's like, hey, I want to try to make you smile. You ain't smiling. I just want to show you that I love you. That ain't working. Nothing seems to work, right? That battle is so severe, right? I don't even know how I got out of it, to be quite honest with you. It's a scary thing because the negative things that happen while you're depressed, it seems like it's a positive thing for you. And sometimes you'll link up with that. You know what I mean? You say, you know what? I can go outside with the fellas, and the fellas ain't doing nothing but smoking or drinking. That's a positive for them. That's not a positive for me, but because I'm at my lowest, it may be a positive thing, right? So you hang out with them, you shooting the breeze. Wait a minute, you're supposed to be in school. I ain't on that type of time. You leave everything that's right to the left. You focus so much on the symptoms of being negative and down, that everything that seems negative, it attracts to you. Whether it's being promiscuous in the streets, whether it's you hanging out with street dudes, whether it's you quote unquote looking for that male figure to help you get up out of that situation. It doesn't. It just seems like it works. It seems like it, and you got people in your circle like, yo, you know you ain't supposed to be out here. Yo, you know you supposed to be in school. Yo, you supposed to be taking care of your little brother. Yo, you supposed to be taking care of your grandmother. Yo, you supposed to be taking care of your family. But because it's the right thing to do, you don't do it. Why? Because depression has you at its lowest point in life. And you know, looking back at it, it was selfish of me, but at that time it felt right. Knowing good and well I ain't supposed to be doing none of that, but it felt right. I need time. I need time to grieve. But you had so many people cheering for you, wanting you to get to, to come out the doldrum. They got their hand up, their hand down, telling you, I want to be there to pick you up. You ain't trying to hear none of that stuff, right? And it was so crazy. But years had to go on, and you had to find your way out. I'm just thankful that people didn't give up on me. Even at my depressive state, even at my nastiest point in my life, people never gave up on me. All because they understood that you're going through something. You need that love to help combat that low energy. So for me, love can conquer things. It can conquer that battle. It can pick you up off that dirty floor. It could pick you up out of them doldrums. But the question is, how do we receive it when we at our lowest point? It doesn't matter how much somebody loves me. We blame ourselves for situations when we're at those points. I did this. I could have done that, knowing good and well I couldn't have done nothing to bring my mother back. But I sat there. I sat there in my doldrums. I sat there like I could do something and I couldn't do anything. Right? But at the end of the day, people really cared about me. Listen, I'm here for you. Talk to me. Talk to me. There's people out here that's not giving up on people that's going through depression. So finally, you know, I opened up and I'm like, yo, the burden is this, it's too much, this, that, and the third. They like, we got you. I need help watching my little brother who's going through a situation. I got you. And the fact that there were so many people not pacifying me, but assisting me. If I stumble, they kick me in my butt and tell me to get back up. Now I know that's not the thing for everybody. I know people need more than that. But I'm telling the story of how I got through my depressive state. Depression is real. I understood that. A teenager trying to be an adult for another teenager. Daddy not in the picture. Like, what's going on here? I gotta be the man of the house. I gotta do this. I gotta do that. The responsibility falls on me. How? I don't know. But I need to do something. You make the wrong decisions when you're depressed because you're not really trying to pull up out of there. But if you don't have that support, you're gonna be there for a very long time. You know, and I'm saying this because there are so many people who have had that battle, like Willa said, of depression. And you know, there may be some people going through this at this very particular second. And you know, no matter what we do, sometimes it's not enough. But the fact that people didn't give up on me is what really got me through that stage. It's sad, but it's true. They didn't give up on me. And I was just a kid. I think about it now, and that very same little brother that I had to take care of lost his life as well. So it's like, wow, it's like I went through the whole thing again. Not to say that I was prepared for it, but this time I understood I had to fight harder. I had to fight harder because I knew that depression was trying to drain me and sink me into another low. And I couldn't afford that. Now his kids somebody gotta be there for his kids. And even to this day, my testimony is his 3 children can always say that, you know what, no matter what I go through, Unc is there. All because I understand that I had to pick myself up. I had to sacrifice myself to come out of the doldrums, to come out of that depression. So what does it take for us to come out of the depression? Right? We all say, well, nobody cares. But somebody cares, but we're not hearing them because we are depressed. It's easy to say I love you to a person, and they receive it. But how much energy and love are you willing to help that person that's depressed come out of it? How much of the pain are you willing to go through with them? Even when they snap at you, even when they tell you, yo, I don't want you around me. Even if they tell you get the hell away from me. Stop talking to me. Stay away from me. I know it's not them. I know they fighting that battle. But still, I'm going to persist because I understand it. My method may not be right for everybody, but I'm doing the best that I can to help that person get out of the depressive state. Right? And there's plenty of us that's going through this, and we got children. And whether we understand it or not, our children feels the energy around us. If our children, if I'm happy, my children are happy. If I'm sad, my children feel it and want to be around me. But I don't want to be around them. I'm that depressed. So I'm trying to strengthen a love or an energy that to give to them. But even with that being said, that's strenuous to you because you are that depressed. Your energy is not even on zero; is a negative side of the zero. You know what I mean? When I told my story of my depression, I felt no embarrassment or anything because we all go through that downtime at some point, and that's the thing. But see, the thing also is that something gave you that spark to come up out of there. For people that I try to be around that goes through that, I would love to be that spark. But if I'm not it, I'm not it. My testimony may not be enough. My love may not be enough. My effort may not be enough. No matter how many times I say, if I'm the last person on the planet that you need to speak to, I'm here for you. It might be kicked to the curb. It might be tossed away. Right? And the depression stage is so severe now. It's not just affecting adults. It's affecting kids. It's affecting teenagers. We think it's the bullying tactics or whatever. No, they're just depressed because they're not able to express themselves. We as a community tell us, listen, we got to hold everything in. No, we can't hold it in because pressure busts pipes. And because pressure busts pipes, we are blowing the pipes of our mind, which affects the body and the soul. All because we're sitting here trying to be strong at our weakest point. No, we gotta find that strength from somewhere else. God gotta give you that strength to come through that. You gotta understand where it comes from. If you depend on your own strength when you don't have it, you hurting yourself at the same time. Realist says, I know for a fact I wanted to live and not stay in that place, so I took the necessary steps to help me out of it. Realist, I could say the same thing. But what happens when somebody wants to live, but the demons of depression keeps you where you at? You know what I mean? So how do we get through that stage? How do we help somebody out with that? People may always say you don't understand. I think I do, but I can't make you understand. I understand, right? So all we can do is give them space, and then when they stop talking, when they bury their head in the sand like the ostrich. We can't get mad at that because that's their coping mechanism. But at the end of the day, I'm I'm trying to tell you I'm here when you pick your head up out the sand. And if you need to talk, then I'm here. But sometimes that's not enough. Sometimes, people say go see a professional. We don't have that money to see the professional. That's why a lot of people turn to this app right here. Because at the end of the day, they can say and do whatever they want and get it off their chest, and they may just feel better. It may help them. So it's people like realists that can understand what they're saying and say, "Yo, I'm here for you," or Word, or Watermelon, or 702, or anybody else that hears that. We could be the outlet, but the fact of the matter is, they gotta want to come out of it themselves. It's just like you loving somebody. You can't love somebody more than they love themselves. You can't be the strength for them if they don't have the strength themselves. They gotta strengthen themselves. They gotta summon that strength to come up out of there. They gotta do all of those things. Because if they don't do it, what could you possibly do? They might feel like you forcing themselves on them and push you away even more. But the fact is, they gotta have that. They gotta want to fight for that thing. And as much as they want to fight, they may feel like they don't have the energy to do that. For those people that understand what I'm saying, for those people that feel like they don't have a way out, I encourage you to have that way out. Find your way. Find you a source that'll allow you to have those conversations with no judgment. Maybe that's why you don't have those conversations. Maybe that's why you don't allow people to reach out, because you feel like things are going to come back in your face or be thrown in your face. No, it shouldn't be that way. But there are vicious people like that. But you have to understand that everybody's not like that. There are some people that want the best for you. Just imagine if my aunts wasn't there in my life and trying to teach me the right thing. Like recently, I lost my uncle. My uncle was the only man that was helped me get through that stage. And the fact that he's gone has made me look at things in a different perspective. Yes, he was my uncle through marriage, but at the end of the day, he accepted all his wife's responsibilities as far as her children, her nephews and nieces, all of those things. He stepped up to the plate and did that. So, it's just it was just hard. Like, it's been hard for me not to think about him. And he was a veteran, so I know the sacrifices he did for all of us. Even if he made the wrong decisions in life, he did he did what he had to do, as far as for his family at that particular time. It's like it's it's hard to explain how to get up out of that thing. As much as you want to get through it, as much as you want to pull up out of there, it always seems like something holding you back. You take one step forward, and it feels like you take five backwards. Or it got an ankle on you. It got a ball and chain on your ankle, and you slide, and it's like you're not budging an inch. We have to find a way to break that chain. We have to find a way to unloose that ball off your ankle. The question is how. The question is, if you're going through it, who would you want to allow in? Who do you want to help you? Nobody wants to see nobody in pain, but you got to want to receive the help to get out of that pain. It's up to that individual. For me, it was up to me to say, you know what? I needed somebody I wanted to live off the memory of my mother. I think I know what my mother wanted me to do, even through the grieving stages. I knew what I had to do, but I was grieving. I felt I wasn't ready. And because I felt I wasn't ready, I sat still. But the love of friends and family helped move that grieving stage away from me. It moved that cloud off my head and allowed me to go ahead and be the person that I am. There's a lot of people that has a role in what I became, and I do appreciate them for that. But at the end of the day, what if I didn't? What if I would have just said I don't want to be here no more either? I wanted to join my mother. That's what depression do to you for a lot of people. Depression tells you I'm tired. I'm tired of being here. I'm tired of trying to figure this out. I'm tired of not being happy. I'm tired of being miserable. I'm tired of not having joy. Even with all the hands and arms and ropes that's being thrown to you, you like, I don't even want to fight because I'm tired. We have to fight our way to overcome that situation. And yes, it's easier said than done. And yes, we don't care what nobody thinks at that time. But you got to have that energy to say, I want to live. Like Realist said. Realist said he wanted to be here. So he had to pull himself up. He had to dust himself off. How could we help somebody who's going through that do that? It doesn't matter how much we want to be there for a person. They got to want to do the work. And like I said, now it's affecting teenagers, right? I was having a conversation with a teenager and he was telling me like, yo, my time and your time is different. And I said, what do you mean? And he said, technology is at our doorstep every time. So even when I'm happy, I'm not happy, and all I gotta do is look at a TV or look at YouTube or look at this game or play that game. And I play this game so much, it brings me more into a depressive state. And I thought about it, and I said, how many times did I go outside and you know I had to fake the moves in front of all my friends, and that actually helped me get out of that as well. But now we got children that don't come out their rooms when they go home. Even if they go to school and come back, they stay in their room. They don't want to eat. They don't want to be social with their parents. They don't want to do none of those things. Whatever the reason is, it could be that they're depressed. I've never heard of so many teenagers going to psychologists and therapists. I asked him, I said, do you go to therapy? And he's like, no, I don't need to go to therapy because I got to figure it out. And I'm like, how do you have it figured out if you're still in that state of depression? And now I'm so concerned about the teenager that I might be reaching out a little bit too much. I'm scared if I do it, I'm pushing and he gonna push me away. But the fact that I'm trying, it may not even matter. Just like it doesn't matter for the adult that I would do that for, or a sister or a brother or a cousin. We have to understand that this thing is real. We have to be the best at our best. But it hurts so much to watch somebody that you care for go through that. It hurts so much when you watch somebody who you love goes through that. And the fact that they'll push you away, you think it's you want to fight, but you don't want to be the cause of them slipping even more, or you don't want to be the cause of them to be pushed away from you. You got to let them figure this out on their own. As tough as it sounds, as hard as it is, you got to do that because you care about that person. You want the best for that person. And at the end of the day, there's days that they may be crying, but you crying because they're crying. You upset because they're upset. Sometimes you just want to be in their presence, and they don't see you as a pleasantry. They might see you as a hindrance and not a help. And y'all know what I say. If I'm a hindrance, I'm gonna fall back. There's no need for me to be in your presence if I'm not helping you. As much as it hurt me, I feel like I'm hurting you even more. Not because I'm a goody two shoes, because I care for you that much. I want you to get better, but if I'm not helping, I have to fall back. I have to get away. But how do we get through that? I don't think the medicine for that is love, but they gotta want to take that medicine. The medicine for them has to be, the presence of encouragement, but they gotta want to take that medicine. It's up to them to take that medicine. I'm not talking about prescription drug, but we could prescribe those things to each and every person individually. Realize if you know somebody, you can give that type of energy to them. They gotta want to take the medicine. For them at this particular point, that medicine might be nasty to them. But if you care for them, you don't force it on them. You just allow them to say, "Listen, I'll be in your cabinet. When you're ready, just open the cabinet, take the top off the bed, and take it. Meaning, I'm here for you, whatever." When they look at you as a negative, or they feel like you're not helping them, you still got to be in their cabinet. So those are the things that we have to do going forward, right? And if there's anybody here that's going through that, please understand, we want to be here for you. I'll say it again. If I can do anything to help somebody that's going through that, even if it's just to listen, I'm here for you. I don't care who you are, whether you're here now, whether you on a replay, whether you hear this 5, 10 days from now. Find a way to contact me. I'll sit here and listen to you. I'll let you spill your whole guts out. All if it's productive for you. I'm willing to do that because I understand what a depressive state is. I know what it's like. I understand what it's like to ready to give up. Like, I don't want to be around nobody. I don't even want to eat. Going 2, 3 days without eating because you that depressed. Going 2, 3 days not combing your hair because you that depressed, not even caring how you look and not caring how you feeling, all because you that depressed over a situation. And it's always going to be a traumatic experience. It's not just going to fall out the clear blue sky. But we got to understand, we got to fight that traumatic situation as much as we can. We may not be able to bury it, but we have to find a way to control it in order to begin the first steps in life. And if we can't do that, we gotta believe that somebody wants us to do that. It was days that I didn't even want to go outside because I don't want to be bothered. I was a teenager. I didn't have to go to work. So I could sit in my room and just sit there. My teenage years, I dropped out of school right after that for a period of time just because I was that depressed. I didn't want to be around no one or nothing. But something said you got to get up. I don't know if it was the memory of my mother or the voice of my mother that says, "Yo, you got to do what you got, nigga. I will punch you in your face. Get up and do what you need to do. Look at your brother over there. He's sick as a dog. Go help him. Don't worry about me. I'm in pain no longer." Maybe that's what did it. And plus the fact that everybody else is saying, "You know what your mother would want you to do, this, that, and the third." Nobody want to be responsible as a teenager. I just want to go through what I wanted to go through. But the fact that it Urban, good morning. But all because I had to go through that thing. I understand what it means to go through that depressive state. I know what it meant. Just imagine if I would have gave up. I can't be talking to you right now if I wanted to end it. For some people, they have those thoughts in their mind. For those people, like I don't want to be responsible for the lives that's still here. I can't handle myself. How could I help these kids? I can't help myself. How could I help my mama? I can't help myself. How can I help anybody that wants to be around me? I feel like I'm worthless. Guess what, y'all? Y'all are worth something. There are people out here who want the best for you. There are people out here that really love you. All we can ask is if you leave a crack in the door, just talk to us through that crack. Let that little bit of light come in your life and out and defeat that darkness that's holding you back. And when it does, you understand that somebody's waiting for you. Not to be, it's not a relationship status. It's not, to be in that life in that form of fashion, but we just want you to be okay so you can go ahead and be that butterfly that you are supposed to be and not be stuck in your cocoon forever. No butterfly can fly without in a cocoon. You're not even morphing correctly because you still may be the caterpillar yet. You probably don't even have wings because you're still in the caterpillar mode. That's how depressed some of us are. We got to understand in order to break through that shield of depression, we have to have the strength to make a dent in a situation. All the power starts within you to defeat that depression. Whether you in your 80s, 60s, 40s, 20s, whatever age it is, you gotta have that strength. We can break it open for you, but you may be breaking it at the wrong time because you're not morphing. You're not metamorphing right now. You're not evolving into what you need to be when you come out of said shell. But guess what? We still want the best for you. We still gonna be there for you. If we gotta stand there and guard the cocoon, that's what we want to do. Even if it's a hopeless situation for us, we still want to be there for you. All we ask is that you fight. And you can say, I'm fighting. But if that cocoon moves, we know you're trying to do something, we'll look back and check on you. We got you. But you gotta want to come out of the cocoon. You gotta be ready to spread your wings if that's where you are. If you're still in the caterpillar mode, we gotta wait for you to become said butterfly. The change always has to start with you. All we can do is make sure that you're getting the things that you need, the protection that you need to not be interfered with. The question is, are you going to allow us to do that? Whoever's going through this depression, are you going to allow anybody to help you get through this? Yeah, there may be an exception to the rule and you may get out of it by yourself, but 9 times out of 10, you're going to need somebody to help you. No man is an island, meaning no one has to be doing these type of things on their own. You got to trust, and that may be even harder in the depressed mode than it is in a regular mode, but you have to trust that someone is really there for you to come through these situations. You can't sit there and just say, you know what, I can find the strength, I can go ahead and, oh, you're going to need somebody. 9 times out of the 10, you're going to need somebody. The question is that what you're going to do? Are you going to be able to allow that person to stretch their arms out for you, to protect you, to allow you to use them as a sounding board so you can tell them what the problem is? So you don't feel afraid that they may use that against you? These are the things that we have to fight to get through those things. And while there may be many other mental health situations, as we get older, we got Alzheimer's, we got anxiety, but the depression, to me, is the number one thing in our community, in our people's tribe, or whatever you want to call it. That's the thing that's keeping us back. And no, you may not want to tell the gory details of the situation, but if you're able to bottle it up and strengthen yourself to move yourself from there little by little, that's the beginning of you becoming or removing that depression away from you. And that's the thing that you have to do in order to go forward. And like I said earlier, it may sound easier said than done, but if you have that right system around you, you can do it. We are all overcomers. And depression is to be overcame just like anything else. That trauma is to be overcame as just like anything else. That grief is to be overcame just like anything else. Depression should not have you bound like this, but we understand why it does. We just ask that you continue to fight the good fight. Fight through it so you can be that beautiful young man that you need to be. Fight through it so you can be that beautiful young woman that you're supposed to be. Not physically, but soulfully. You you have to stand up to the plate. Okay, you got me down here, but I need to come up. I need to come up. Just understand that there are people here for you that's willing to do that with you and not be against you. Please don't be afraid of help. Please don't be afraid to ask for help. There are people that's willing to help, whether it's as a professional therapist, if you have that money, or a life coach, or a counselor, somebody, or just have somebody to have that conversation with you that you can trust. Whether it's whether it's comfortable to do it on YouTube, even though people might not say that's the right thing, you got to do what's best for you. You have to worry about yourself, but you have to overcome that depression in yourself. How do y'all want to do it? For me, it was family and loved ones. If you don't have that family or loved ones, well, let me say it like this: if you don't have that family, you may have a loved one, even if it's on this rare occasion on this app that people feel like it doesn't work. You have somebody here that wants the best for you. No, we may not have met each other face to face, but if you understood the sincerity of this message, you know that people want you to come up out of that stage of depression. The battle's not ours, it's yours, but we're willing to get in the trenches with you. Will you allow us? Will you open up the door for us to come in to help you straighten out the clutter that is depression in your life? Those are the questions that you may have to tackle as you hear this voice. I can't have that answer for you. Only you can have it. But just understand that even though you may not answer the door that first time, there's always going to be a knock because someone cares for you to continuously check and knock on that door for you. Don't look at us as a pest. Look at us as a preserver, one that wants to preserve you from being sunken in even more. But it's always going to be up to that person that's going through that thing. Like I said, whether it's here, whether it's today, whether you hear the voice on a replay, the offer is always on the table. Why do I say that all the time? Because I understand what it's like if you don't come up out of there. I've seen a person give up so much that an ailment took them out because they didn't have the strength or they didn't care enough to take care of themselves. I've seen it. I've been a part of it. I've been to a funeral. I had to help. I had to help that person's child get through a situation. Even when I check on that child to this day, it's like, hey, how you know, like, no, it's hard to even speak to that child. But I have to summon the strength because that child needs me. even when that child is a teenager or a pre-adult. They may have questions. I have to stomach myself up to have an answer for them. All because I understood what depression is like. I know what it's like to lose a parent at that age. It's rough out here. Please don't misquote me. I'm not saying that it's easy. What I am saying is it's overcomable, and that's a word I just made up, but I don't care. But the point is, you can overcome it. But it's up to you. I can have plenty of offers on the table, but if you don't take none of them, it's still on the table. It means nothing to you. It's not a help to you. I've been in a situation where I've been abused by a person that's depressed. But the fact that I stayed there, I hope that it has shown that person that I'm trying to be here for you in spite of you being, my niece or my nephew or my friend or my lover or whatever the case may be. I'm here for you because of that. But it's up to you to open that door. It's up to you to allow that little crack in that armor or in that cocoon to break through, to allow it to be broken through and receive what you need to get to come up out of that shell. The battle's not ours, it's yours. But always remember that we're here for you. We don't want you to be depressed anymore. We don't want you to be stuck in a rut no more. We all want the best for you. But until you want to fight, until you want to come through, we're still knocking on your door. We ain't giving up on nobody. We're here for you to come through. And with that being said, everybody, on this Thursday morning, I'm going to go ahead and sign off. I'm going to try to enjoy my day. But just remember, if anybody here that's going through that situation, I'm here. Y'all are worthy to be fought for. Y'all still worthy to be loved. Y'all are definitely worthy to overcome this thing called depression. With that being said, y'all, I'm out. Thank you for taking the time to hear me. I pray that it has helped somebody. And, I'm gone.